Dark alleys, smoky speakeasies, and a city bursting with opportunity and danger. This is Chicago in the early 20th century, a city defined by ambition. But beneath the shine of industry and innovation lay a darker truth, a network of organized crime so potent, so ruthless, it would write its legend in blood and corruption. To understand the Chicago outfit, we must first travel back to the turn of the century. Picture this: Chicago, 1900. The city pulses with life, a patchwork of communities drawn from every corner of the globe. Italians, Irish, Eastern Europeans, they all came chasing the American dream. But often, opportunity didn't come wrapped in a neat package. The government's promises of a fair playing field rarely materialized for immigrant families. Enter the world of street gangs, gambling dens, and vice entrepreneurs. Among these, a group of Italian immigrants in the predominantly Sicilian neighborhoods of Chicago planted the seeds for what would become the Chicago outfit. Crime was a way of life here, not just a rebellion, but a system of governance outside the law. They exploited corruption in law enforcement, aligned themselves with local political machines, and quickly learned how to wield power both in the shadows and in the open. The first whispers of an organized Italian-American network came under local crime leaders like Big Jim Colosimo. Born in Calabria, Italy, Colosimo arrived in Chicago in the 1890s, initially a humble grocer. But Big Jim had bigger dreams. He got his start running petty crimes like robbery and extortion, before famously opening a string of brothels across the city. By the early 1910s, Colosimo was known as Chicago's vice kingpin. He operated with impunity, protected by the lavish bribes he laid at the feet of government officials. Big Jim's empire was formidable, but it would soon evolve into something much deadlier. In 1919, history changed dramatically. The United States government instituted Prohibition, banning the manufacture, sale, and transport of alcohol. The intention was moral reform, but in reality, this law threw the door open for organized crime to seize unimaginable wealth and power. Bootlegging became the business of the day, and Big Jim Colosimo? He didn't want in. Now this is where the Chicago outfit truly begins. To fully capitalize on the Prohibition gold rush, Colosimo brought in two key individuals to help him expand: his nephew, Giovanni Torrio, better known to history as Johnny Torrio, and a young enforcer by the name of Alphonse Gabriel Capone. But let's focus on Torrio first. Johnny Torrio wasn't just a criminal, he was a visionary, a man who believed organized crime could mimic the efficiency of a corporation. Street-level violence would only get you so far. Torrio wanted to create a structured network where profits reigned supreme and unnecessary bloodshed was bad for business. But a problem stood in Torrio's way: Big Jim himself. While Torrio was eager to dive headfirst into bootlegging, Colosimo preferred to stick to his brothels and gambling rackets. To Torrio, this was short-sighted. The market for illegal alcohol was wide open, and Big Jim's hesitance was a liability. So Torrio made a move that would change Chicago forever. In 1920, Colosimo was ambushed and murdered outside his cafe, wiping him off the map. Torrio's hands were clean. Officially, no one could pin the killing on him, but many historians believe Torrio masterminded the hit. With Big Jim out of the picture, Torrio inherited his empire and turned his hungry eyes to the opportunities Prohibition presented. Under Torrio's leadership, criminal operations expanded tenfold. He organized not just Sicilian or Italian gangs, but also Irish and Jewish crews in Chicago. Together, they ran a massive bootlegging operation, producing illicit liquor in underground stills and smuggling it across state lines. Torrio's approach was methodical, and as profits skyrocketed, so did the Chicago outfit's influence. Judges, police commissioners, even mayors found themselves on Torrio's payroll. But while Torrio preferred to run his empire quietly, his protege Al Capone was an entirely different breed of gangster. Al Capone, later known simply as Scarface, was a brash young enforcer for Torrio. Originally hailing from Brooklyn, New York, Capone earned his first underworld stripes working for the infamous 5 Points Gang. It was there that Torrio spotted him and brought Capone to Chicago in 1919. Capone wasn't just muscle, he was sharp, charismatic, and relentless. Torrio recognized his potential and began grooming him for leadership within the outfit. Capone became Torrio's right-hand man, but his rise in the Chicago underworld was far from quiet. Always dressed to the nines in silk suits and diamond-studded jewelry, Capone was a larger-than-life figure. Where Torrio stayed behind the curtain, Capone thrived at the center of attention. He relished the power and didn't shy away from the spotlight, which earned him both admiration and fear. As the Roaring Twenties unfolded, driven by jazz, speakeasies, and a society intent on rebelling against the temperance movement, the Chicago outfit's dominance solidified. Torrio expanded the outfit's control over saloons, nightclubs, and speakeasies, all serving thousands of gallons of illegal booze every week. But naturally, this empire didn't go unchallenged. The era of bootlegging brought fierce violence. Rivals like Dean O'Banion, leader of the Northside Irish Gang, and the Jenna brothers, a Sicilian crew also engaged in bootlegging, vied for control of Chicago's lucrative liquor trade. Torrio, ever the diplomat, initially tried to keep the peace, but as the profits rose, so did the tension. The brewing gang wars reached a boiling point in 1924. Dean O'Banion double-crossed Torrio during a deal involving a brewery, tipping off the police and costing Torrio thousands in fines and embarrassment. Torrio struck back. That November, 3 gunmen walked into O'Banion's flower shop under the guise of placing an order and shot him dead. Though a strategic victory for the outfit, this brazen killing lit the powder keg. A retaliatory assassination attempt on Torrio himself came in 1925. He survived, but decided he'd had enough of the life. With bullets still lodged in his body, Torrio shocked everyone by retiring and handing over the reins of the Chicago outfit to none other than Al Capone. And so begins the reign of Scarface. By 1925, a 26-year-old Al Capone was at the helm of the most powerful criminal organization in America. Under Capone's leadership, the Chicago outfit would cease to be just a local racket. It would become a national force. His appetite for both violence and fortune would fuel the outfit's darkest and most legendary chapter, a reign defined by unchecked power and staggering brutality. But that, of course, is a story for another time. This is only the beginning of the Chicago outfit, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and the blurred lines between crime and business. The rise of Torrio and Capone took them to the heights of the criminal underworld. But as history would soon show, staying on top came at an unimaginable cost. Stay tuned for Part 2, where Al Capone reshapes the very landscape of organized crime and leaves an indelible mark on American history. The world of the Chicago outfit has only just begun to reveal its secrets.